Welcome to the Getting Real with Hilary show, where ordinary heroes tell extraordinary stories during unique and never been heard before conversations with your host, Hilary Arno Burns. Hilary's unique listening and way of asking questions results in conversations that aren't usually talked about, so you can create the life that you really want but are afraid you can't really have. We are demonstrating the greatness and the human spirit in creating a world where we all reclaim our birthright of joy, happiness, purpose, and passion. Now, here's your host, Hilary Arno Burns. Welcome to the Getting Real with Hilary show, and today we have our guest right on here with us. His name is Andy Bhattacharyya, and he's going to introduce himself. So this is a little unusual, but he's also a very special guest. So take it away, Andy. Tell us about yourself. Go ahead.
Thank you, Hilary. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Honor Bond. I go by Andy Bhattacharyya. So I'm one of the founder members of a company called Amplo Global. It's about what we do is about sustainable enterprise risk management. It's a specialized product. We have platform that we have built, and we drive revenue and cost analysis for the end client or the end organization. My background has been in supply chain, mainly a bit of sustainability as well, data manufacturing, this whole gamut of, like, I would say, value chain, supply chain that I lived my career with. So I will give you a quick, first I can give you a quick dry introduction, and then I will cover the non-dry introduction, as I call it. So the dry introduction is engineering, consulting, MBA, Wall Street, startup, right? That's where I have been in the last 20 plus years. That non-dry part is that I'm an author. I have books, both fiction and nonfiction. I run a nonprofit in Nepal, India border. It's an anti-sex trafficking organization. And I also teach at Rutgers University out here in New Jersey, where I live. I'm an adjunct. I'm not exactly teach, but I'm an adjunct, and I'm a keynote speaker. So that's a little bit of me. Outside this work and non-dry, I have another non-dry part, that is I do tremendous stargazing. So I have various telescopes, and I have a strong interest in astronomy as far as constellation and stars go. So I'm very interested and intrigued with the planetary movements in the sky. Back to you, Hilary.
Wow. Woo. You did a lot of stuff. Okay. Where were you born?
I was born in India.
Yeah.
I was born in India. Then I moved to US for my undergrad. Yeah.
And where'd you go for that?
So I did a partial engineering in India. Then I had a cohort transfer program at Duke University. So then I graduated. I lived in Raleigh for a while. Then I did consulting. Then I went back for my MBA in Duke as well. Yeah.
Wow. So how old were you when you came? About
I was actually 20. So now you know my
Yeah.
age, 20 plus.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know what year that was. Do I?
Yeah, it's 2000. Yeah. Year
2000. Okay.
Yeah.
So you are 45.
Oh my God, you're talking about my age now. Okay, that's great. That was
You're like a child, so don't worry about feeling old. Please, please, please. Okay, good. All right. So
you nailed it. Wow.
What?
I said you nailed it. Yeah. Okay, good.
2020. Oh no. Well, now we're in 2026. You could be 46, but you're
40, okay. 45 plus. My birthday is on October 29th. Yes.
Okay. So you got time. Okay. All right, good. It's all relative. That's what I say. And when I really feel old, I say, you know what? I have friends. I have dead friends, and they'd be happy to be this age. That's how I get myself back in gratitude instead of what the hell is happening to you? Yeah. So anyway, okay. So back to you. All right. So what made you come to the U.S. from India?
So, you know what? In my life 1.0, I did not think I don't know what made me came to the US. I just went to a good school. I was always above average in education. I never questioned my mom, dad's top-down strategy to bring me up. My eldest sister's strategy. I just went to a good school. I just got engineering. I scored well. I got the cross-pollination, cross-continent program. But in life, that was 1.0 A. 1.0 B is where this question is relevant. What made you move here, right?
Yeah.
How did you move? I look back and I think that I got lucky, right? I became a global citizen now, right? Honestly, very heart to heart, my life was simple, shallow,
Hmm.
not much questions. That's how it happens. That was 1.0 A. 1.0 B, where all these self valuation started, self reflection started, right? To answer your question, what made you move? I just went with the flow. Well, I was always a good student. I just came to a tier one school out here, right?
You just applied and came.
Yeah. So the course was like that. Like it's a cross pollination, cross continent undergrad, right? And then I never, yeah, it's a very average way of thinking, not deep in the beginning of my life. Always been in the four walls of mom, dad, and sister. Never thought what life could be complicated about. Simple as hell. No,
Wow.
it's very simple. Very simple. No thinking. So I don't
Okay.
know. I just landed here. Yep.
Okay. So you graduated and you didn't think about going back to India. You decided to stay.
No, I've always been a global citizen. So in childhood, in 1992, Michael Jackson came to Mumbai, and I stole from my dad's wallet 50 Indian rupees, which is 10 cents. Not 10 cents, it's 50 cents right now. 50 Indian rupees. And I went to my grandpa's house and I said, Grandpa, we need to go to watch Michael Jackson. And he said, how much you have? I said, 50 rupees. He said, you can go back to your dad's place. You cannot get to Michael Jackson show with 50 rupees.
Oh.
I'm very global in that way. Like I've always been into the hard rock music in childhood, then alternate rock with U2, and Carry Each Other is my favorite song of my life. So got into Adele and other music and billboards, and so I've always been a global citizen that way. So I always I never had a thought to go back, but I love the roots. I have both the roots in that way. And I just got a job here and I started my career here. And
Wait, did you ever get to Michael Jackson?
my grandpa took me with his own money.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he didn't make you go home to your father?
He did not. My dad did not open the door for 3 days because he didn't like that I went to watch Michael Jackson. I stayed with my grandpa for 3 days, but I went back and said, Dad, you're very dry. You have a life which is within the bell curve. I would love to have a life outside the bell curve. And my dad said, oh, you're calling trouble in your life. You don't know what peace is about. I said, that's what I want. I do not want peace right now in life 1.0. And now the biggest search I do in life 3.0 is...
Wait, how old were you when you said that to your father? That's pretty ballsy.
So
How old were you?
I was 1992. I was 10, 15, 10, 12. Yeah, 12. Undergrad, so 18. So yeah, minus 6. 1998, I went to undergrad. So yeah, so I was 12. I was 12.
So you already had seen that your father was on the bell curve. That's amazing.
Yeah. So I was very... So my dad was very, and he will be 78 on Monday, February 2nd. So he has always been a very old school, egotistical man. He's not a bad man. He's a good man.
What did he do? What was his work?
He was he started his career he was a soccer player, which is not a very good thing in India to be a soccer player. Sport is not a very big thing. He's master's in commerce, sharp guy, soccer player with those combination in sports quota. He got into Bank of India because his elder brother told him that, look, you're getting married, you should settle in. Sport doesn't give you a lot of money at that time in 60s, early 70s. In 70s, 70s, and you should get something. So he got a job in bank and got married. Then my sister popped out. Then I popped out. And then he got a stable of life 20, 30, 35 years in the same damn bank. But he actually went up the ladder very, very smooth, not smoothly, but he went up the ladder in 35 years. When he retired, he was in a senior position. So in his head, I'm a complete disruptor, right? So in his head, like I'm a troublemaker, right? In his head, that I don't know what life is about. In his head, I'm immature. So there's a lot of father pressure on me to perform in like Fleet Auto. We can talk about that as discussion goes. Yeah.
What did your sister do? Did she
My
follow
sister
the
is emulated my father and my mother, right? It's a good daughter, lovely daughter, one husband, 3 kids, got married, Hewlett Packard Enterprise, customer service senior manager, Houston based. It's a very successful life, according to my father.
Okay.
Isn't that
What's your mom like?
My mom is in the middle. My mom got confused in life between dad and me, right? My mom was strong till 2014 when my dad retired. The last 12 years, I've seen my mom is 75. My last 12 years of my mom is very like dad friendly, not me friendly or my sister friend, because I think she defends my dad now for the rest of the life he's in. Hopefully, a few more years. My dad lives, and I pray for him. She supports dad now, and which is very interesting because they were incompatible. I asked my mom one day in Mumbai when I came back from school, and Mom, why you have to live with dad? I mean, if you're not going well, you should go and separate. No, no, no. It doesn't work like that. You are my responsibility. It's your dad's responsibility. We have to make you good citizens. We have to compromise. That's life. As a mom, you're a school teacher. You teach. You teach chemistry. You're such a good chemistry teacher. You can live by your own. And I can pop between you and dad's house, 2 houses, right? Then my mom asked me one day, where are you learning all this? Who taught you divorce?
Yeah.
Right? Who taught you divorce? So then my mom never accepted. She accepted that she was more feminist, but she couldn't raise up her voice because my dad's it was very, I would say, very male-driven mindset, right? But he's a good man. He earned well. He brought up me and my sister. We always have food on the table. They sent us to good school. Intelligence was not an issue between 4 of us. Me, my sister, mom, and dad. We are four intelligent people. Well, lacked between 4 of us is the EQ. IQ was not an issue. EQ was an issue, right? That's where we fumbled completely, right? So if you really take back my mom's move when I'm aware of my senses, right? Good teacher outside, good followers of students, good mom, could be a better wife handling my dad, but she succumbed into dad's chauvinism, right? And I think there's a peer pressure also in the Indian society of like being it's a little more male driven. I think she got succumbed into it, but things have changed now. It's India is more modern than ever. When I go sometimes back, and so it's more modern. But my mom got succumbed between that whole chauvinism and societal pressure and incompatibility and this and that, and she became a victim. But now things are flipped. And now in India,
Things are what?
they're flipped. So it's like more like she's the captain. My dad is a slow runner, slow mover, right? Health deteriorated. He's a dual cancer patient.
Oh.
My dad. And my mom is like, she has many ailments, but she's in more senses than my dad, right? So like, she takes the control of the house now, gives back to my dad. She's the captain now, not my dad anymore. So the role has flipped in the last 12 years. Very interesting.
Mm,
So it's like learning a lot, right? Like it
mm.
also tells me why I was born, and which I think my mom, dad, and my sister, they haven't thought about this a lot. So my mom used to tell me that you are like her younger brother, which is my maternal uncle. My maternal uncle is very similar like me, very entrepreneurial, had a stable job in Singapore. He left. He's a chemical engineer. He started his own polymer business in Mumbai. Very successful. Now very successful, right? But had his own struggle. So she used to tell me, "Oh, you're like my younger brother. You're so rebellious and this and that." And from that onwards, I knew that mom was confused between dad and my sister and me. She caught in the middle. Yeah,
Well, it's interesting that they thought entrepreneurialism is rebellious, right?
yeah. You picked that
That's
up.
fair.
You picked
Yeah,
up. You picked up.
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like, "Oh, look at him, how great he is, trying his own thing." No, it's rebellious. Wow,
Yeah,
interesting.
because you are disturbing peace. You are shelling your own money, which you earn with your own blood, right? I mean, I started my startup during COVID, and I had 3 customers, and all the 3 customers pulled plug on us post COVID. Nobody wanted to do enterprise risk management on climate, water, energy waste. Nobody. Everybody's surviving to run their financial business. So then I told some of my leaders and clients that, hey, I mean, we should continue doing this, though you're in COVID, you're running your supply chain, but you should still do a zero waste supply chain. We should start to keep doing it. Oh, no, you let it go. We don't want zero waste right now. We need to run the business for now, blah. My father picked it up. My father, my father picked it up. So at 2022, I went to India. He had his first surgery in cancer. And he said, he's coming out of the surgery bed. And I asked him, hey, Dad, how you doing? So my dad said, "Hey, I always do great. You know what I mean? I always do great. But look at you. At 40, you have no woman, no money, no career."
Thanks, Dad. Wow.
Boom. Right? I said,
Right,
"Dad."
no money, no woman, no career. Okay, at 40.
So,
Nice.
I mean, who told you to leave IBM? IBM was a fantastic company. Who told you to leave Blackstone? No, that's great,
Mm.
right? You don't know how to think. You don't know how to navigate. You're such a loser, right? So it's like that.
So that was only 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, because I did I did leave a very handsome job in IBM, and then I got into entrepreneurship, fresh at 40, as I call it. And yeah, it's like life 2.0 started for me, right? With a lot of realizations. First 15 years in the corporate America, all great brands I worked for, right? Met good
So
money, and
so
then
wait,
got
when you you graduated Duke the first time and you went into
for MBA again.
Yeah, what kind of consulting did you do right out of
Oh, I
undergrad?
was in supply chain consulting.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then you went back to the
Well,
MBA,
yeah. Mhm.
and then where'd you go after that?
After my MBA, I joined Blackstone here in Wall Street.
Okay. Okay. And you didn't like the
And
jobs?
not much. I found out a lot of things, that's okay. We can talk about that later. But I did not like the overall mode of operandum. I was just a paper pusher. So then I moved out with half the salary in IBM. Half the salary in IBM. Blackstone was a great payer, by the way. I paid
Yeah.
off my Duke loan, Duke MBA loan.
Mm, mm.
But yeah, it's like MBA. sorry, IBM has been wonderful. Raleigh, New York, Germany, wherever I worked in IBM, I moved between these three places: Munich, Armonk, New York, upstate New York, and then Raleigh, North Carolina. These are the three hubs for IBM where I worked.
Right.
So
What were you
yeah,
doing for them? What were you doing?
I was a supply chain lead for their data centers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is that internal supply chain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hilary, you know a lot of things within IBM.
Did I ever work there? No, but I mean, I was on Wall Street and went to Wharton and all that crap. So I've my brain thinks and tries to figure things out sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's surreal. I mean, this is I mean, this peeling the onion and exactly know where I got into. Yeah, I was so I joined as a consultant. Then there was a position opened to drive data center for IBM's
Okay.
cloud, and I
Okay.
took the internal position. So you nailed it. So I witnessed the most complicated supply chain of data centers in the world at that time, 16, 17, 18, 19, 4 years. My best time of my life in my career. And I was not making as in Blackstone, but I was making decent money. I was traveling between Germany, Armonk, and Raleigh, all the three places, and it's out of the world, right?
So
I
So can I just ask? I'm just curious. Like, I don't really know supply chain, but I'm assuming you're moving stuff, right?
Mhm.
And what was moving between the data centers, or what was
So
the
great question. So
supply?
data centers has a lot of components, right? Data centers has the infrastructure, the capital projects where you build the data center, like a real estate, right? Data center.
Right.
It has to have green energy, or not a green, but energy, maybe green energy. You have to have the right capacity planning. You have to have the realistic PAL planning. Then once the racks are being settled in, you have to make sure that you manage the racks well, because the heat comes out of the data center, energy gets sucked in, a lot of electricity gets sucked in. You need to constantly monitor the end of life of the racks, right? So take about from getting a storage in the GPU coming in, the assembly is happening, you're really maintaining the CBRE. By CBRE, you're maintaining the real estate, right? Maintaining the right energy. It's it's a whole scale of supply chain, right?
Wow.
From assembly to run to maintain, right? And it's a
And you
very
knew all that stuff? Like, you knew that?
I learned on the job.
You learned. Okay.
Well, I mean, I knew
Wow.
supply chain before, but ICP, infrastructure capital projects, I learned during my IBM role, right?
Wow.
So how do you do a capital projects than operational projects? How do you move something
Yeah.
from capex to opex, right? And also the financial exposure that I got in Wall Street really helped me to turn back into supply chain and do supply chain finance, for the lack of better words, right? So it gave me this whole thing has given me a holistic thing in my career, right? Supply chain, manufacturing, finance, procurement. I got the holistic thing, and I
Real
recommended,
estate.
yeah, and real estate, like green quotients, green buildings, and
Yeah.
green circular water. You need water for data centers, a lot of water, right? How do you use
Wow.
circular water, right? That cracked my brain. I said, hey, this is a great time to do my own startup on enterprise risk management with sustainability. And I was wanting to come back to US, where I want to be based out here. And I just came back and I said, look, I don't want to get a new position out here in Armonk or Raleigh or New York. In that case, I will just leave. And I had a decent plan. We built up, and me and my co-founder at that time, we already built the product that we are thinking with AI. At that time, 2019, I was like late nights. I was like designing the product. Somebody else was coding, and we're doing customer research, benchmarking. So, and then I finally said, I'm at a point where I should leave, right? So yeah, it was pretty deliberate move from my side.
So that's when your father freaked out.
Yeah, when somebody leave IBM, it's like Bank of India. It's a
All
government.
right. Now, did you have I know it's a personal question, but like savings so you could survive for a while.
I mean, I had savings, but once the three companies pulled the plug on me, I knew from a Blackstone salary to an empty fridge. I know what an empty fridge is. October 2021, I need to call my friend for some groceries because we hired around 7 people, and this is personal again. We couldn't pay them, so I have to pay from my own money. And once I started shutting my own money, it's kind of a gambling now, right? That how long you want to pull through this company, and I did not handle financial smartly, right? Because every time I want to stop, I was getting a new client. I want to stop getting a new client, but these clients are not scaling because sustainability was not a water circularity program for a data center is very important, but it's not a hair on fire problem for the CEO.
Right.
Right. So sustainable, then we switched to 23. We switched from pure sustainability, climate risk, energy risk, water risk, waste risk. We moved towards supply chain, greener supply chain. That where I think we kind of got the position a little bit, repositioning our company. And 2024, we got a special investment from AWS. AWS, you must be knowing AWS, right? So we are one of the funded startups by AWS, but AWS do not fund like that, right? AWS funds on the product, and the product has to make money in quarter by quarter. If I don't meet that growth curve, they will not fund anymore. They will not fund the product. So 2024 February, so we had a 2 years of relationship with AWS. 2024 February, they said, you know what? It's not scaling. We will not fund it anymore. 2024 November, when the new administration came in, they completely pulled the plug on sustainability startups. So last 1 year have been horrendous for any company who has sustainable supply chain programs. So now we are exiting this year. So we have some offers on the table. Nominal offer, we have some debt. We have some debt that we have to pay off. I'm not even expecting to make money. I'm going to go back to pure corporate America in my life 3.0. So I'm in the cusp of 2.0 ending and 3.0 starting.
So you're going to go get a job.
Yeah. And I have stuff in the pipeline between you and I.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It's been a one heck of a journey. Made me an author, and I always write, but made me more a better author, better storyteller, better teacher at Rutgers, better godfather for the trafficked kids or women in Nepal. It became so two things happened, Hilary, right? My journey from being average to above average with a cost of entrepreneurship, experience plus cost, and some wanted to be a father, which I could not. Now to be a godfather with around 40 nonprofit kids, right? So the whole thing has turned my mindset to the reason why I was born. I asked my mom and dad, I asked my dad one day recently, Dad, do you know at 77 why you're born? No. I should born, right? I mean, I should be born, right? I know it's a very, very shallow conversation with my dad, but that's what he doesn't think, right? But he went ahead and did his responsibility for me and my sister, and we grew up good kids. But I asked him that, do you know why you were born? I think I know why I was born. Then he asked me, why you were born, right? Well, I gave you birth, so I should know why you're born, but I don't know why you're born, right? So I had a very funny conversation with my dad. Then I said, look, I'm born for leaving back a legacy. Then he said, oh, stupid, yeah. Then he hangs up, right? What do you mean with legacy? You will go up, nobody will remember. I said, I know, that's the reason I will leave back a legacy. So my job is the whole journey from being average to above average, being a leaving back a legacy, and then being a father to a godfather, that journey, right? Wanting to be a father to a godfather, right? That whole journey, these two journeys have made me a better human being, a better leader, a better purpose-led life. So I feel I'm more complete than before. And it's not that I don't fumble. I still fumble. I still drop balls. But I feel that I'm a much better version. And one thing that I also worked on is, how do I manage energies around me, right? Managing energies is very important, right? Once you know why you're born, and to leave back a legacy. Nobody has asked me to do that, by the way. But I have to write. I have to bridge the gap between one generation to the other, right? This all comes from inside now, right? Once somebody knows why he or she is born, I feel the purpose of life, living and leaving, makes more sense, right? So you have a purpose to wake up every day, right? That's what it is.
Okay, so say what it is again. Your purpose?
To
You
leave-
said average to above average. You're a
to
better
leave back a
version.
legacy, to leave back a legacy.
Okay. And what is the legacy?
The legacy of hope, the legacy of interconnectedness between previous generation to this generation, the legacy of balancing left and right brain, the legacy of equanimity, the legacy of clarity. Clarity is big. So all these thoughts are right in my books, right? And I'm always telling a story, not directly, but these thoughts come out indirectly through the story, right?
We're going to come back right after our commercial break, and then I want to ask you about it. Okay?
Sure, absolutely.
Great.
Let's do it.
Be right back. Hey friends, it's Hilary, host of the Getting Real with Hilary show, and I want to get real with you for a moment about something we don't talk about enough: brain health and immune health as we age. I recently learned about daily brain care from Dr. John E. Lewis, and what stood out to me is that this isn't hype. It's science-backed and clinically proven. Daily brain care supports cognitive function and memory, reduces inflammation, balances the immune system, and even helps increase adult stem cell production, which plays a key role in how our bodies repair and regenerate. When your immune system is balanced, your whole body works better. You handle stress better, you feel healthier, and you function more like your younger self. If you're serious about taking care of your brain and your body, check out Daily Brain Care at drlewisnutrition.com. Hey friends, it's Hilary, and I want to share something that genuinely shifted how I see modern and contemporary art, and honestly, how I see the world. If you've ever felt like modern or contemporary art just wasn't for you, like you were supposed to understand it before you could enjoy it, you're not alone. And that's exactly what Robin Jameson turns upside down. Through innovative tours, talks, trainings, and educational programs, Robin doesn't explain art or tell you what to think. She guides you into actually experiencing it, personally, directly, and in a way that is powerful, moving, and even life-altering. She's also the author of The Magic of Modern Art: How to Love Modern and Contemporary Art. And what she shows people is this: you already have an innate affinity for all types of art. Through Robin's work, you are awakened to more than just a new, confident, and joyful relationship with art. You begin to see everything with fresh eyes, feeling more curious, open, and alive in the world. If you're looking to create a powerful, memorable experience for yourself, museum, organization, or community, visit magicofmodernart.com or email Robin, ROBYN, at magicofmodernart.com and discover what's possible when art and life truly come alive. All right. This is a new studio, so I don't know how to take us out, but we're back. Thank you, as always, to our sponsors. And you'll also see the logos going underneath the show. Thank you to them as well as the commercials. And now we're back to Andy. And I wish I could show you the book, but the book that I have is In Pursuit of a New Dawn. It's a collection of short stories, and I can't show it there. You can kind of see it there. Anyway, when did you start writing amidst all this? You've
I
written,
always
obviously.
write. Yeah, I always write. But this book I started writing 2022.
And you just came up with those stories there. So it's
No, all
individual.
these 8 characters are real characters I met in my life.
Oh,
And then I fictionalized it in my head.
really?
Yeah, all these 8 characters. There is a very a story is going very well in the last few quarters is about the 8th chapter. It's called kintsugi. Kintsugi is a Japanese concept. It's a broken vase. When you tie that with adhesive and you wrap around with the gold, it's called kintsugi. So kintsugi is a story about a woman who gets raped, and she goes to the police station, identifies a man, he goes to jail. She figures out that the man was innocent, right? So like her dichotomy to bring him out while she's a rape victim is what the story is about. So how this could not be repeated, right? So it's a somebody I met in Nepal, and it's a real story, and not a real story as such, but it happened. It happened, and then she opened her own foundation, so I kind of fictionalized that a little bit, changed some plots, and just so I met this. Then there's this story who was a great painter in Manhattan before COVID. I used to see her almost every day. I don't see her anymore, but I asked her one day before COVID, "Hey, you paint so well. What happened to you?" Then she said, "Oh, my stepdaughter threw me out of the house, but I dream someday I will be a great painter." So I used to say hello whenever I used to catch the NJ Transit train to come back to New Jersey. And one day I don't see her. Then I thought about her, and I wrote a story about the love of painting. This lady who defeats and defies the violence, domestic violence, whatever it is, I call it, right? And then becomes a great painter, her journey, right? So all these 8 stories I've met in my life, some point or the other in the last 10, 15 years, and I remembered them and I penned them down because that's a message to my next generations, my young nieces and nephews. They pick up the book and read and say, "Andy, you write all this? But you're such a funny guy. But this is very serious, right?"
Yeah.
So
But can I ask you the
yeah.
first story where the I guess the mother is gone and the daughter is with the father, but then he
The
you were
first
talking
story about
at the end, the father, I mean, I don't want to give it away, but the father has her arrested, and that's the end of it.
oh yeah, that's The Daughter of the Night. That's one of my favorites.
And what did you know what happened to her? Or is that not the point?
That
I was
was
like,
I mean, I did not know, honestly, but that's a
oh,
real
okay.
plot that I met her in a place called West Bengal, India. And I met her in West Bengal, India, and it's a state. And I have a nonprofit which runs across from Nepal to southern eastern border of India.
Wow.
I met her in one of my hostels, and I was having dinner with around 22 people around, and saw people are sharing their stories. And one of them said, "Look, my father, whenever I go home, I don't want to go home. I will stay here in the hostel because my father, like, always like torturing me." And she said, the day I saved there's a rebellious group, rebel group, who was going against the government locally in India, and she saved a few men who were, because her ideologies matched with the rebel people, and they were anti-communism, for the lack of better words, and her thoughts matched, and she saved a few men. from the police, and that's what the story is about, right? I
But
don't. Yeah.
so the father had her arrested because she was having supposedly sex with the guy. Was that not the case?
That's not the case, right? She was saving the guys at night so that the cops don't kill them, but she was just doing some support to those
Right.
folks who are fighting against communism and red taping, for the lack of better
Yeah.
word. And she does falls in love with one of the guys, and the day she really wants to um, make love with that person, police comes in. Her dad brings the police in the house, and the guy was shot, right?
Oh.
So that's the story is about the daughter of the
Yeah.
night. So it's a very fictionalized, but it's a real plot.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they're really good. Sometimes I didn't want them to end though. I was like, well, wait a second. I want to know more. But anyway, but they're really good. So it's called In Pursuit of a New Dawn. And okay, so what would you like to talk about? We have about like I don't know,
5 minutes?
12 minutes, maybe?
Let's do 5.
Oh, okay. We'll have to fill it in then with other stuff. Okay. All right. You have to go in 5. Wow. All right. Well, we'll have to fill it in then. Okay.
But we'll go to 12 minutes, no problem. So yeah. So let's do it. So yeah, go ahead. Shoot your question.
Do you need to like text someone or something for your 320?
I'm already. I will pin somebody. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So what were your other books? I know you're coming out with a new one, or
Yeah, I'm coming with a new one, which is about how do you make your own luck, right? It has 12 chapters about all the memoirs of all the leaders across the world, how they met their own luck. It should come out in summerish, winterish, right? This year it should come out. Number 2, that will be my actually 4th book and 5th writing, because I have a journal writing in the middle, which I don't count because there are other authors too. Then I have a book it's called a business book I have, which is it's called the Industry 5.0 Data Economy. How do you monetize your data and build an economic model? And then I have a book before that. It's called The Ruins of Hope. It's about a protagonist who lives in New York, goes to Nepal, saves a woman getting trafficked, and he falls in love with her. And that's the story flows. It's an ending it's a very emotional ending where I can divulge a little bit. It's about
don't tell it. Well, what is it? The Ruins of what?
The Ruins of Hope. The Ruins
of Hope. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's out there. Okay. So people can find you where? On Amazon?
leadwithandy.com. That's my website.
Oh, okay.
Leadwithandy.com. Go to the books. All the books are listed, and you will find it on Amazon as well.
Okay, cool. Great. What else? So let's see. I want to ask, what do you teach at Rutgers? What's your topic?
So my topic at Rutgers is called sustained engineering. It's because when the product gets designed, from a MRI machine to a toothpaste, anything, how do you predict the carbon footprint when it gets launched, when it gets used by you and I, like consumer products or B2B products, right? So my job is to do, the term that we use is called sustained engineering. It is a strategy around better engineering to have more active monitoring of zero waste, right? That's called sustained engineering. That's what I teach.
Okay. And how did you learn that?
Through supply chain experiences, through sustainability experiences, through live customers, worked in med devices a lot as a vertical. That's where I learned all this. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then what are you a keynote speaker on?
I'm always speaking in 3-4 topics. I speak on supply chain, manufacturing, sustainability, and data, of course. I speak purely on AI and data. I speak on leadership, entrepreneurship, strategy. and then I also speak on inspirational topics. I'm a survivor of a disease called sepsis. It's a blood infection. I was about to leave the universe in 2019, but I came back. I had a fever, very high fever, 104.5. I was almost senseless. I've seen the other side of the life. It's kind of green. So it's like I had a like a open bacterium called Klebsiella, and I picked up from some salad or raw fish.
Oh,
Yeah, just my blood got infected. I had sepsis, and yeah,
wow.
I went there for 2 hours. I was having bone chills, but chilling. They run a stat on me, and they said, Andy, you need to admit your white blood cells count are out of the roof. Something is very badly wrong. Stayed there for 6 weeks. Then when I was leaving, I was the
Oh.
most entertaining patient in the hospital, and
You were?
I was the most entertaining
Yeah.
in the hospital. And
Where were you? In New Jersey?
yeah, I was in the Hackensack Meridian.
Wow.
And I had a midline coming here straight to the heart for 6 more weeks of outpatient. So I survived brilliantly. I just killed it.
Did your parents come or anything?
No, I have some good friends. My sister, who is an ideal daughter, comes in from Houston, and stays there for one day, and she goes back. She was supportive. She was very supportive, and then my local friends were here, 2-3 good friends who took care of me brilliantly. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. So I've beaten debt. I've
Yeah.
beat entrepreneurship. I'm going to beat normalcy. I'm going to beat the bell curve things. Yeah,
Right.
I'll survive.
And when you said you couldn't have again, personal, but it's getting real. You said you couldn't be a father.
There's a time where I was dying to become a father in mid 30s, I would say 10 years back. But yeah, then I realized that I had some failed relationships by that time. But 2020, I became laser focused to do the entrepreneurship. But yeah, I did go through some couple of good failed relationships, and it taught me about myself. I think I had some child trauma as well. More than the passing the buck to the other person, I would say that I had issues and why my relationships failed. Yeah, you cannot clap with one hand. You cannot do a tango by yourself. I get that, but I could have handled better, and I did not. I said in the beginning of the discussion, we have some EQ issues. I had two.
Oh.
But I worked on the EQ now. I'm a much better human being from an EQ perspective. And yeah, generally, I'm a patient human being, but when I get angry, I think I do not do a very good job on my EQ, right? When to stop, when not to stop, right? That thing I have to improve. But overall, I feel that those failed relationships have taught me a lot. So yeah, long answer, but now I know why I was born and why I'm born. So I will focus on a larger world than just serving or bringing up 1 or 2 kids, right? I want to serve more better world, better number of kids and others than just focusing on my kids, right? So that's my strategy. Yeah.
So what if somebody came and was like the right person handled your EQ, handled your anger, wanted to have a couple of kids? Would you say no?
I would say that my boat has sailed.
Okay.
Because I have
In
plans.
case there's anyone out there who wants to approach you, I just wanted to see if they should or not. Okay. Sorry, ladies.
And I have next 5 years of plans already. So, but yeah, I'm going to once I sell my company, I'm going to travel. Yeah. So Yeah, I have brought the taste of non-bell curve, non-ideal sun.
All right, cool. All right. All right. So you've done your entrepreneur, you're going to sell your company, you're looking at jobs, going
Yep.
back to corporate. What else do you have in the hopper?
A new book is coming out. It's a job, book. I have some debts I have to pay off. So debt payoff, book, job, health. I'm type 2 diabetic right now due to stress. So I'm working on my health. And yeah, just the most difficult thing that's ahead of me is to make my life simple.
And you're going to stay. You're not going back to India.
I will stay here.
In New Jersey? You're going to stay in New Jersey?
In New Jersey, yeah. It's very easy access to Europe, which I like because I go to Europe a lot for work, for personal reasons, and I love Manhattan more than New Jersey. I love Manhattan. I'm a city person, but I'm also I'm mixed actually. I will say a city person when I want to, but I also do a lot of countryside because of the stargazing that I enjoy.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I go upstate New Jersey for sometimes for stargazing, but when it's clear in summer, but not always. But yeah, I just came back from Santiago, Chile, so where I did stargazing. So yeah.
Wow, you got to write a book about that, I think.
I bet that's an idea that's coming out. Great.
Yeah, I think most people don't. I mean, we have whatever you call it, when you have the lights up, then you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in Hawaii, there was a place where they didn't allow any lights. I don't know if you know.
Mauna Kea.
On the Big Island?
Big Island, Mauna Kea. It's called Mauna Kea.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was so cool. Anyway, okay. So, we can end a few minutes early so you can go, but what would you like to leave people with? If your vision came true, your purpose, all that, how would the world be in 5-10 years?
I would say that if we can work on a few pillars, fundamental pillars, very basics, like show up every day, never give up. I know they're cliched, but they're very important, right? Be kind, be honest, right? Be equal, accept your faults. Apology doesn't mean that you're trying to escape. Apology means you care for the relationships. All these fundamentals are very clean in somebody's head, then I think life will become more simpler in our interactions. Next 5 to 10 years, we should not have, in an ideal world, we should not have any generation gap, right? The biggest struggle we have in this universe, because generation by generation, things move forward and there has been a gap and complexities arise because of the generation gap. That's where I believe back legacy, being a bridge between generations through my writing.
Wow. Cool. All right. Well, thank you. I want to let you go because I know you got plans, and I just want to thank you for.
Thank you too. It's a pleasure. So I really thank you. It means a lot to me.
Great. Thank you. I look forward to reading more books and hearing more about your adventures, your rebelliousness.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you for watching this episode. I started getting real with Hilary when I discovered that I was a people-pleasing, pleasant phony and wanted to be more of my real self. We can grow together if you will like the show, subscribe to my channel, and share this episode with your friends and family so that we can have a world that's more real.